the food in China. I had people telling me before I went to China, oh, you're not going to love the food. The food here in the United States is not authentic Chinese food. To me, it is. The food in China is very, very good. The food in China is superb. I absolutely loved it. It was so good, so delicious, and it's like you're eating clean. Because in China, they don't use butter. They don't use a lot of sugar. Like their cakes are lightly sweetened. There's no buttercream icing. You're not gonna get that. The icing is gonna be whipped, and the cakes are lightly sweetened. Even like birthday cakes are lightly sweetened. I don't too much care for that. You know, I'm Southern. I'm a Southern girl. I live in Houston, Texas. We have buttercream icing, and we use a bunch of sugar. Okay, that's why the obesity rates in the United States are the way that they are, because we are addicted to sugar. Anyway, the food in China, I loved it. It was great. Matter of fact, I lost 6 pounds while I was in China. So let me explain to you what breakfast was like. Breakfast was a fried egg, some vegetables, and juice and coffee. I don't drink coffee. And that's what breakfast was. So we made fried egg sandwiches with jelly, and they don't use butter, so there's no butter or anything that's available. They cook everything in oil, and it was good. I enjoyed that. And breakfast is the smallest meal of the day. You know, here in the United States, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It should be the biggest meal that you eat. Well, not in China. It's the lightest meal. That's the very lightest meal that we have. So you will have your fried eggs, and then you will have maybe about 3 to 4 vegetables on the table. Now, lunch and dinner is much bigger. I mean, you have a wide variety of different type of vegetables and mushrooms and meats and fish to eat. And then they have a steamed roll. That's really different. I like the way they look. I didn't too much care for the texture of the steamed rolls, but I'll show you a picture of all the different foods that we tried. And I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I tried some different foods, but some foods I couldn't try. And you're gonna see from the pictures that I share with you that I couldn't get down with the fried crickets. I could not get down with the fried crickets, and some other things that I'll show you in the pictures that I just was not willing to try. But I did try this scary looking fish, and I'll tell you what, that scary looking fish was scary looking, but it was good to me, honey. Yes, it was. That fish was so good. Matter of fact, it was the most tasty, most well seasoned fish I had had while I was there in China, but it looked scary. The teeth were sharp, and I mean, it was just like an ugly fish, but tell you one thing, it sure was good going down, honey. It was good going down. So this is one of the reasons why in general, as a whole, the population of the weight in China, they are all small. You know, the type of obesity that we have here in the United States, you just don't see that in China. And we traveled to a lot of places and we saw a lot of Chinese people, and I can tell you what, the type of obesity that we have here in the United States, you don't see that in China. You do not see that in China at all. And I know it is from the foods that we eat and the lack of exercise and the poor food choices that we select and the poor habits that we have. You know, you have people that are 200 and 300 and 400 pounds. You don't see that in China. You have people that are obese, just grossly overweight here in the United States. You don't see that in China at all. Everyone is small. Matter of fact, some of the ancient buildings that we went to, some of the hallways are so thin that an overweight person would not be able to walk through because people were not big. You were not supposed to be a big person. And then also the people are shorter. So you don't see the type of health issues that we have here in the United States. For one thing, our plates are too big. Our plates are huge. And the bigger they are, the more food covers the plates. Well, in China, the plates are about this big. They're small. That's another reason why, you know, people are so small in China, is because their brain thinks that they are full because the plates are this big, and they're not gorging themselves with food. They're just not doing it. And also the food is healthier. It is a lot cleaner. And we went to many restaurants while we were in China, and overall, the people eat healthy. They eat lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, lots of different meats. Here's another thing: the meat in the United States is whole. You have a whole chicken breast. You have brisket, and you have everything is whole. Well, in China, all the meats are cut up. They're cut up into little cubes, or it just doesn't allow for people to just go overboard with the food. And it made me think a lot about how we eat here in the United States. We are doing something wrong when it comes to eating. When you have children in elementary school that are overweight, it makes me think that we are doing something wrong when it comes to our concept of food and how we eat. And something really needs to be done about that, because we all know that obesity leads to lots of health issues. So anyway, it just makes me think. So instead of me ordering and you know, a large whatever, I've been ordering smalls, because that's probably the portion that I need, or that's probably the portion that is, yeah, it's probably the portion that I need. Ordering a small instead of a large and mediums and all that type of stuff. We just eat too much. There's just all to it.